Every founder I work with is battling the same war. Slack pings, Instagram or Twitter hits, KPI dashboard blinking like slot machines, all designed by thousands of engineers to hack your limbic system. They've turned your survival wiring into their profit. That means that every time you are inconsistent due to technology, you really are outgunned. It's your human firmware versus trillion-dollar algorithms. But what if you could turn that same wiring into a weapon? Well, one of my clients did. He was stuck at $18K a month for like 6 months while checking YouTube at least 50 times a day. 6 weeks later, he was making 50 grand a month without wasting a single minute on YouTube within his workday. And he achieved this by deploying what I'm about to share with you. But first, you need to see the battlefield for what it is. You have to understand doomscrolling as the most profitable arbitrage on earth. It is trading your brain chemistry for profit. It is something that removes friction. With one thumb swipe, you have infinite novelty, which excites your limbic system. It gives you immediate feedback, a dopamine hit within seconds. It triggers variable rewards. Dopamine shoots up 400% when the payoff is intermittent. And it costs zero effort, so there's no decision fatigue involved with you using an app that triggers you. So the same brain that kept your ancestors alive on the savannah is now trapped inside an infinite scroll. With every swipe, floods your brain with novelty dopamine, a chemical that is basically whispering, maybe the next reel is going to actually fix my boredom. That is not weakness. That is limbic hijacking. So consistency really is not a moral issue, it's a neurological issue. You're not inconsistent because you lack the mental toughness to be consistent. You're losing a dopamine war you didn't even know you were fighting. And no, a dopamine fast is not going to fix it. You have to understand that in order to succeed, you do not rise to the level of your goals, but your system, really your mental defaults. And if doomscrolling is easy, it's because the system is built for effortless behavior. So every habit you're trying to implement is really an user experience problem, and it is very hard to out-discipline bad design. According to notch theory, people do not choose what's best, they decide what's easiest. The default path always wins. So doomscrolling is the perfect notch system. Maximum dopamine, minimum friction. Your job as an elite performer is not to fight your impulses, it's to redesign your behavioral default to be consistent with the right things. So run this audit right now. How many clicks does it take you to start deep work, and how many clicks does it take you to open your favorite distraction app, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever? See, that's why you lose. Your environment is working against you, and whoever designed your environment controls your behavior. Elite founders obviously don't let their apps hijack their focus. Instead, they redesign their life and business to make inconsistency impossible, and then gamify their daily work to become addicted to it. And they do it through two mechanisms. First, they create something that I call neuro design protocols. They don't rely on discipline. Instead, they architect their environment to make discipline impossible. They engineer inevitability. I teach my clients to use notch theory to build a behavior funnel that reduces the friction for the $10K hour behaviors to zero, so it's super easy to start the challenging task, and increase the friction of the $10 an hour behavior to infinity. And their clarity and focus and consistency are not just God-given traits, they're conditioned defaults wired into the brain through systematic design. Your job is not to will your best self into existence, to design the right system to let that best self emerge. And the second step is to gamify the execution. See, most people fail not because they can't do the thing, but because their wins don't feel like wins. They miss out on the sweet dopamine their brain is secretly craving. They build systems with no reward loops. They punish themselves for not doing the thing instead of wiring pleasure in actually doing the thing. Doom scrolling really feels good now, but it's bad later. Deep work feels bad now, but it's good later. Your job is to collapse that delay, making the right thing feel rewarding. And in gamification theory, motivation spikes when three elements are combined. Visible progress, so you see the climb, social proof, so others can see it too, and variable rewards, small hits of novelty. Doom scrolling hits all three. Your job is to replicate the same design, but for executing within your business. So every time you complete a block of deep work, trigger a visible payoff. Like, log it, visualize streaks, gamify progress. This is how you turn simple productivity advice into performance gaming, in which every hard task completed is a round and you keep score every week. The goal is to make progress emotionally louder than procrastination. You can do this with a piece of paper, but I suggest building a dashboard. To my clients, I give them my dashboard, which lets them track 2 core metrics. One is the intrinsic leverage of each work session, and then is the level of focus they had in that session. And that creates a scoreboard gamifying the process. Now, how do we get them addicted to actually feeling that? Well, their daily performance varies. Some days they hit a flow state, others they're struggling. Over time, they become extremely efficient and consistent, but it takes a few weeks to get there. That variability is a feature, not a bug, because if you don't know if you're going to hit the jackpot of peak performance today, you create the same anticipation as if you were in a slot machine. So let's say that you're aiming for 100% focus and leverage, but you end up doing 67. And you start thinking about all ways in which you undermine yourself that day, and you log them. And then the next day you are motivated to hit that 90 or 100% score, and you hit 70. And over time, those near misses makes them addicted to success. Once their brain learns their progress equals pleasure, they stop chasing basic dopamine, and high-level dopamine start chasing them. Remember the founder who quit YouTube? This is why he scaled from 18K to 50K in a couple months. Not because he worked harder, but because he got addicted at beating his own score. And that was done through redesigning his virtual environment and giving him a tool to track his performance. This is crucial because the moment you start craving progress more than distraction, you stop fighting yourself. And what do you think happens when you stop fighting yourself? You stop winning, right? This is how we help my clients, by rewiring their default way in which they work. If you truly want to have access to the same dashboard and you want to start seeing in real time how your execution improves and how your goals are consistently hit, book a call with us, and if we can help you, we'll show you how we do it. See you on the call.